Welcome to this episode of Make It Plain. We are going to look at a communication from what I like to call an overly excited staffing agency. So this comes from a staffing agency that would help realtors staff, kind of on the weekends and that type of thing, to staff for model homes while the realtor is gone or if the realtor wants to take a day off. This staffing agency would hire people to be there in their stead. So we're going to dive right into this. There are quite a few grammatical errors, so I'm actually going to kind of skim. We're going to make a quick pass through this, and you're going to see how much is wrong with this grammatically. I do want to point out a few formatting items that they did right away that are very good. Now, I wouldn't underline attached, but they wanted to bold that. If you see and notice there, they have paragraph spacing here. They did a list, a numbered list, 1, 2, 3, 4 with some bullet points underneath that. So they got some things right as far as the format of it, because again, people don't read, they skim or they scan. And this is pretty scannable. It helps me to see clusters of information that I can see quickly are related. So here, attached is the community information sheet. Now, attached, I don't ever underline for emphasis. That's a bit more of a design leaning that in my opinion, the designers that I've read after, they are a no-go on underlining items in text. So attached is the community information sheet. I really don't know why they have that bolded. If you're going to bold that, I'd actually probably bold the whole thing at the top here. So the community information sheet, they are making this a proper noun, which is the CIS. So that's a bit of an internal lingo for them. I'm going to leave it. I think that's fine. And that's where you may have to decide for yourself, for your business, church or school, that there are times when you may have an internal document be a proper noun. And what I mean by proper noun is that it's capitalized. So obviously, the cities and states, those are proper nouns as opposed to common nouns. But this community information sheet, they've got it capitalized. What I do think you should do is if you refer to that community information sheet at all later in the document, make sure that you are consistent and you keep your capitalization on there because you have set it up that this is a proper noun. Now, I will say, they used bullets down here, but these 4 lines, this isn't a paragraph. So I would either make this a paragraph or make these bullets. Let's see what happens here if we just make it a paragraph. Okay, so please call the sales representative prior to your assignment. Print and take the attachments with you. We can make this a little shorter by saying print and take the attachments with you. There's a little bit shorter. Then remember to submit your hours in web time before noon Monday. Now I'm going to point out one thing just so I don't forget it. Web time here is all one word and it's a capital W. A little later on, they split it. Where is web time? Oh, right here, right? So here, do you see how web time is now it's 2 words and time is capitalized. So whatever their internal lingo is, they just need to be consistent. So I'm going to lean toward this one. That's completely arbitrary. I don't know, but it's just not professional when you're inconsistent. Is it web time or web time? Is it capital? Is it not capitalized? You just got to be consistent. And that's a quick, easy fix. It's just a proofreader not reading, like taking one pass through this. Remember to submit your hours in web time before noon on Monday. So note this process that's going to come back up, that if you work a weekend, you have to submit your hours by the noon on Monday to get paid that week. And that'll come back up here in a moment. Okay, bold. It is very important that you notify us when you have arrived at the model. And it's a model home. Please open this confirmation email, hit reply all, and let us know you have arrived at your assignment. So this is their process that for a staffing temp to get there, they want to be notified that you have arrived. I'm going to say this. There has got to be a shorter way to say that. We're going to come back to it because, again, we're going to work through some grammar things here. Okay, so below is a reminder/checklist that will ensure a successful partnership. This is my rule for myself. When I see a slash, I'm going to lean toward picking one or the other, if possible. Sometimes you can't. In this, below is a reminder checklist. Is just pick one or the other. That is very inconsequential. And again, they have it capital R and capital C, and I don't know why. That's not a proper noun. So below is a checklist that will ensure a successful partnership. So watch this. Here we go. What if we go this checklist or the following checklist? I guess I spelled that wrong. Oh, wait. The following checklist will ensure a successful partnership. Okay, got it. Now, web time is due each, quote, Monday before capital N noon, end quote, exclamation mark. Well, that's a grammatical train wreck. That's a punctuation train wreck right there. I don't know why they have that in quotes. Even if it's their internal language, it's kind of cheesy. Like, web time is due each Monday before noon. It almost sounds like they're getting you a cheer. Web time is due Monday before noon. Like, no, I'm not into cheering. And then this exclamation mark should go inside that parentheses if we were keeping it, but we're not keeping it. So there. Now, watch this punctuation. All right. This is where I got the name for this episode. Web time is due each Monday before noon! Exclamation mark. We strongly recommend that you submit your time at the end of each work week over the weekend! Exclamation mark. The system does not allow you to enter time after the cut-off period! Exclamation mark. Like, they are yelling. They are either very happy about submitting timesheets or they're yelling at you. And this is overkill. And in my opinion, this is a result of just how casual we have gotten in texting and even in emailing. This is overboard, in my opinion. So we're going to fix this. Web time is due each Monday before noon, period. We strongly recommend that you don't need the word that there. We strongly recommend you submit your time at the end of each work week or over the weekend. Exclamation. Yeah, you don't need an exclamation mark there. That's a period. The system does not allow you to enter time after the cutoff period. Now watch this. Cut off here, 2 words. Next 7 words later, or however many words. Any submission of time after the cutoff, now it's 1 word. Now this is a fun one, okay? So cut off, is it 2 words or is it 1 word? Well, it depends on how it's used. So if this word is used as a verb, like I'm going to cut off a time, well, then it's actually 2 words because you're cutting off. It's a verb. If you use it as an adjective, which here both of them are, let me double check that they are both used as an adjective to be technically correct. To enter time after the cut-off period, yeah, because it's describing the period. Any submission of time after the cut-off period. So that just needs to be 1 word. Now, if they said to enter time after we cut off, blah, 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 well, then it would be 2 words there. So the system does not allow you to enter time after the cutoff period. Okay. And let's see, there should be a shorter way to say this. I feel like this whole paragraph, there is definitely a way to cut this. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that right now. The system does not allow you to enter time after the cutoff period. So the system does not allow you to. Just say you cannot enter. Here we go. You cannot enter time. You cannot enter time after the cutoff period unless you submit a manual timesheet, which will be processed the following week. And I'm going to do an M dash, and that is Alt or Option, and then the hyphen key there. So now it says you cannot enter time after the cutoff period unless you submit a manual timesheet, which will be processed the following week. And then I'm going to go no exceptions. So there we go. We cut that a little bit, and I took out all of the exclamation marks there. So now it reads, web time is due each Monday before noon. We strongly recommend you submit your time at the end of each work week or over the weekend. You cannot enter time after the cutoff period unless you submit a manual timesheet. which will be processed the following week. Now, will be processed, that's passive voice. If my company's the one doing the processing, which we're just going to assume that right now, which we will process the following week. So I just wanted to get that out of passive voice and active voice. In active voice, the subject is doing the action. In passive voice, the subject is acted upon. And you see a lot of passive voice in business communication because nobody wants to take responsibility for anything, in my opinion. But business speak can lend itself to this nebulous, people are doing things and we don't know who's doing it. But, and again, if you're outsourcing that, I think it's fine to leave passive voice there, but I'm going to assume that we're the ones doing it. So which we will process the following week, no exceptions. Then number 2, be sure to have the updated payroll handling instructions, exclamation mark. Wow. Holy cow. Be sure to have the updated payroll handling instructions. Remember, and then, there were a couple of places here. There's too much gap there. There were a few other places down here. I typed this out exactly how they had it. It was way too much space there and then way too much space there. So just some simple grammatical double spacing, triple spacing issues that, one pass through this with proofreading eyeballs on, and you can clean that up. So be sure to have the updated payroll handling instructions. Remember, you had 2 options on your hire date, direct deposit or pay card. Now, see, they have established direct deposit here as a proper noun, again, capitalizing it, and then they don't capitalize it down here. So as I read the flow of this, I'm going to lowercase direct deposit, and I'm going to lowercase pay card, so that it's consistent with what's below. So now again, they did a great job here with bullets. If you chose direct deposit on your interview/hire date. Now again, there's that hyphen there. I would just pick one of those. Maybe it was the same, maybe it wasn't. I think that's probably pretty inconsequential. Or if you chose direct deposit when you were hired, you could say that. But again, not the end of the world, but if you chose direct deposit on your hire date, please be sure we have your most most correct. Yeah, you should have the most correct information on me. Have your most current banking information. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Also, if you chose the direct deposit option, did you present a voided check? If you did not, you can just say if not. Okay, you don't need those words. If not, we will use the pay card form you submitted. You don't need the word that there. You submitted unless you take care of this before your check is processed. Take care of this. That is, I get what you're saying. I need to fix the problem, but that's a very kind of unprofessional way to say it. We will use the pay card form you submitted unless you, I'm going to say care for this, because that's telling me to fix it, but it's being a little bit nicer. I get it. Okay, fix it. Unless you care for this before your check is processed. Next bullet. Remember, if we process your first check using the pay card option, wow, this is interesting. If we process your first check using the pay card option, I'm going to delete option here, using the pay card. If we process your first check using the pay card, this is really out of order. This is weird. If we process your first check using the pay card, you will be charged. No, you must pay a $3.99 processing fee to change to direct deposit. You must pay a $3 to change, and I'll do this, your payment option to direct deposit. So remember, if we process your first check using the pay card, so if you start out on the pay card system, you have to pay a $3.99 processing fee to change your payment option to direct deposit. That to me reads way better. Then since your interview/hire date, again, I'm going to say since you were hired hires. Since you were hired, if your withholding, your W-4 information has changed, please let us know. And then they don't have a period here. And the number 4, they didn't have a period there. Those are both complete sentences. And they had, under number 1, number 2, those both had periods. So just, again, a couple of grammatical things that were real simple in this. Since you were hired, if your withholding information has changed, please let us know. And I actually like it better. The order of this, if your withholding information changed, not has changed, changed since you were hired, please let us know. Then, if your contact or mailing information, not has changed, just changed, since your interview hire date, please contact us immediately. So if your contact or mailing information changed since your interview/hire date, how about it changed since you were hired, please contact us immediately. Okay. All right. So now this just reads better. It's buttoned up better grammatically. And this, okay, let's go to this. It is very important that you notify us. All right. So what we're going to say is you must notify us. Wow, that got shorter. Okay. You must notify us when you have arrived at the model home. So let's just change this to present tense. Since you must notify us when you arrive at the model home. Please open this confirmation email, hit reply all. I'll leave that all caps. It really stands out, so we'll leave it there. And let us know you have arrived at your assignment. Please open this confirmation, hit reply all, and let us know. How about tell us? And tell us you. You know what we're going to do, because it's not really a speaking. It's not a verbal. It's written. So we're going to say notify us. So notify instead of let us know you have arrived, and notify us you have arrived at your assignment. Better. Okay. So the following checklist, or this checklist will ensure. Should I do it? Yep. This checklist will ensure a successful partnership. I like it. You could do the following. Then web time. Be sure to have the updated payroll handling instructions. Remember, you had 2 options on your hire date: direct deposit or pay card. Hey, they even threw in a semicolon there, which I don't think you need. You had 2 options on your hire date. Watch this. Oh, we're going to do our little M dash. Remember, you had 2 options on your hire date: direct deposit or pay card. I actually think you could just use a comma there. But I like the M dash. It looks neat. Then I think that's it. So we're not going to overkill this anymore, but just button this up a little bit. Actually, more than a little bit. We fixed this grammatically, made some of the instructions clearer, and by combining some of the things. One of the things I like here at the top now, print and take the attachments with you. That combined combined some information there that was needy and necessary. So this overly excited staffing agency that was exclamation marking us from here to Mars, we have removed some of that, and now it is more clear, concise, grammatically correct, and can still be consistent with this staffing agency's brand. And we have cleaned it up and made that professional. So thank you for joining me for this episode. If you would like more information about the Make It Plain digital course that I teach through, you can check the description below this video. There's also a free download where it's called Before You Hit Send. And there are times, no doubt, that you've got a pretty important email or text that you're getting ready to send. And I don't know if you've ever had it to where you wanted somebody to look at it just because it was that important before you hit send. Well, this cheat sheet, this checklist I've got, it is your second set of eyes to help you walk through a few of these items to make sure that the next time you have to hit send, that you are buttoned up and ready to go and that you're going to come across professionally. So I hope that you will like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And again, thank you for joining us today for Make It Plain.